guys, Fox here, and I know it's been a minute, but there's been a lot that's been going on, and I will be catching everyone up pretty soon, but I wanted to go ahead and I had some very exciting things happen, and sorry if I sound a little bit off. I'm in a slight state of shock right now. So for I guess a little background on this post. I participate in the RedditGifts every year throughout the year. So I'll do, the Reddit gifts around Christmas time, where you, for anyone unfamiliar, it's basically a Secret Santa system where you put in your information and the system matches you up with somebody else, either nationally or internationally if you so choose. And it's basically just that. There are different themes, and you look at your person's information, they fill out this little questionnaire, and you send them a gift. And then somebody completely different sends you a gift, and so forth and so on. So this past time around, I did the Reddit gifts for, I think, owls, phone cases, enamel pins, bath scrubby fun times, and things like that, as well as Arbitrary Day, which is kind of like the Christmas one, but for summer, in that there's not a specific theme, but you just kind of get something fun for your giftee. So I signed up for all of that, and I just received my Arbitrary Day gift today, and so I guess first thing that's really important to understand is a little more background. So this past, at the end of June, my husband and I went to Costa Rica for vacation anniversary. And Costa Rica is a beautiful, beautiful place. Had a lot of really good times, had a lot of adventures, went ziplining, did a a Tarzan swing, which was actually more like a bungee swing, which I did not like, but I did it. But a lot of horse riding, going through caves, just a lot of fun. It's a trip that we planned for a little while, and it's something that Clayton, my husband, was really excited about. So, that being said, about halfway through the trip, we were on our way from one place to another, so we were between Airbnbs, and we stopped on the side of the road at this bridge, which was kind of a destination spot where you could go on the bridge and look over down at this river where all these these crocodiles always are. So we ended up doing that, and we kind of just pulled over the side. It wasn't really a populated area or anything like that. And parked the car, got out. It was raining a little bit, so left most stuff in the car. Our bags were all in there and stuff, and put on rain hoodie and all this stuff, and went over and looked at the crocodiles. They were really big. They weren't doing too much, but a couple did get in a little bit of a tussle, so that was kind of exciting. So went over there and was over there for about under 10 minutes, like 7 to 10 minutes, something like that, because it started raining really hard. And so at that point, pretty much turned around and went back to the car and it's an SUV. You want to, just as a side travel tip, it's helpful having an SUV in Costa Rica because some of the roads aren't as paved as others, and it's there's rainy season and some places can be really steep. So went and opened the back, I don't know what trunks are called on SUVs or hatchbacks, but the back part of it, the vehicle, and I was looking around, I was like, oh, why are my clothes all over the place? And I thought that my husband had rifled through there to get something out, and then he asked, he's like, oh, well, did you lock the car? And I started thinking, I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I did. I always have. And that's when we discovered that the back window had been broken in. And, at that moment, this huge, just panic set in, because I pretty much had my backpack in the back, which we soon discovered was gone. As well as his backpack. The only things that were left were a small bag, and my bag with the clothes in it, but which had, people had rifled through. His bag had all of his clothes. My bag had my laptop, which I just gotten a couple months ago, my camera, my Yoshi 3DS XL with all the games. It had my passport. His passport was gone. There was money, my wedding ring and my grandma's wedding ring. So all this was just gone. And it was, I cannot begin to describe for anyone who hasn't experienced it, kind of what that gut punch feeling felt like. I know, you're traveling, but like I've been wanting to get more into like travel blogging and stuff, so I brought along, my camera and my computer, and it seemed to make sense. But all of my most valuable possessions were in this backpack, and it was gone. So we called the police, and there was a guy who was hawking these alligator teeth necklaces and stuff who had been trying to sell to us. He ended up coming over, and he actually stood in the rain with us and helped translate when the police got there, because my Spanish is okay, but it's not great for this sort of scenario. So that night and the next day, we were in the process of getting, taking this car back to the car rental place to get a different car, and just trying to deal with what to do now that all of our stuff was gone. In positive news, this tiny little waste bag that had his credit card and driver's license in it was still there, and then this other tiny random bag that I'd gotten had my wallet in it still. So those two things were still there, which the driver's licenses would come in very handy when later on we had to get emergency passports. So at that point, we were pretty much ready to call it, and we changed our plane tickets to the next day. We were going to head down to the U.S. Embassy to get emergency passports and just go. And we were on our way to San Jose that had the embassy in it. And at that point I was like, I don't really want to leave yet. He still had a credit card. We still had all the places booked. We had a new car. And I didn't want that to be the last flavor of the trip. The country was beautiful. Everyone that we interacted with deliberately was super wonderful and like very helpful, and just, I didn't want that to be it, So we did end up staying out for the rest of the trip, which was a great idea, and we both agreed. And then I kind of put out of my mind trying to replace all of my stuff. That was going to be a home Fox problem and not a vacation Fox problem. So went through the rest of the trip, got back, immediately after which I suddenly was very, very sick. I managed to pick up a lower digestive bug, and I don't need to go into a lot of detail on what happened, but it was not good, and I think you know what I mean by that. But on top of that, I ended up getting a CT scan and discovering that I also had, apparently I have ovarian cysts that, for anyone who doesn't know, I feel like most women will know, and a lot of you probably have experienced this. They're just these cysts that grow in your ovaries and can be painful. So I had one that was there, fairly small, and apparently I had one that just ruptured. So I had that, exploding ovaries left and right, just bathroom adventures pretty much 24/7. And so that happened for the next week or so. So it was a lot. It was a lot at once, which actually, as an aside, when I went to the urgent care, they gave me an IV, and initially I got the IV on my right arm, and it was painful, and even when it was completely situated, it was very painful, and it's a little bit of a side, but I want to show you guys. So apparently I cannot get IVs on my right side. In other news, it was switched to the left side, which ended up healing just fine, but this is what happened there that day. And this is like almost 2 weeks old, so that's the bruise kind of flaring up there. But anyway, so then once I started getting back on my feet, I started getting back on my computer and like trying to catch up on emails and all this other stuff. So I happened to notice that I got a message from circling back my Secret Santa for Arbitrary Day, who had messaged basically saying, hey, in my profile I've written that I have been playing Breath of the Wild, and so the person asked, what system do you have Breath of the Wild for? Is there anything that you collect that you're really wanting? And I was like, well, I have it for Wii U, which is an awesome system, by the way. I like jewelry, I like cute stuff, I collect animal bones because I'm a weird, also I was like, this thing happened while we were abroad, and I'm going to be trying to replace all of these 3DS games as soon as I get a new system. So there's that. And then so they sent a message back basically being like, okay, your gift is going to be in the mail tomorrow, and also thank you for supporting my work, or my business, or the work that I do. So I don't remember exact phrasing, I apologize, but something along those lines. And so I sent back, I was like, oh, awesome, looking forward to it. And then just out of curiosity, like, what is the work? Can I know? Because I'm very curious, or like, will I know? And they were like, oh, you'll know. And I was like, all right, cool. So a week went by, or not a full week, but some time went by, and I was really excited because I always love gifts. I love giving gifts. I love getting gifts. I'm a gift crazy person. So the package came today, and I was really, really excited. And so there was a knock at the door, UPS guy. I go into the door, he's halfway back down the lawn, heading back toward his truck. And so I pull in the box, and it's this huge box. And I took a picture with Hige for scale, Shiba Inu for scale. But it was this huge box. So I was like, oh, sweet, this looks awesome. And so I opened the box, and the first thing that met my eye was just, I'm going to take you through this process with me. So the first thing I pulled out was this awesome Mega Man amiibo. And I have a couple amiibos. I have the Zelda Twilight Princess amiibo, that's Link as a wolf with a little, I have the game but I haven't actually played it yet, with the little Gallant on his back. And I also have the crocheted Yoshi from Yoshi's Woolly World, which is also an awesome game, highly recommend. But yeah, so the first thing I pulled out was this Mega Man amiibo, and I was like, oh shit, sweet, amiibos. And then I pulled out this Zero Suit Samus amiibo, and then I pulled out this Chibi Robo amiibo, and then I pulled out this Sonic amiibo, and then I pulled out a Toad amiibo, and then I pulled out this Trio from Splatoon amiibo, and then I pulled out this Animal Crossing Duo amiibo, and I was like, oh snap! This is so cool! Like, I've had some amiibo, again, the 2 amiibos, but I haven't had a really chance to play with a bunch of amiibos, so I'm really excited. I know the new Smash Bros. Coming out soon, or just dropped. I'm still recovering, and my brain is gone. But then I pulled out a little bag that I opened, and my awesome Secret Santa, whose Reddit name is DJ Scrib, sent me a brand new refurbished 3DS XL. And it is, like, it's a Galaxy design, and it is gorgeous. I've never seen one like this. Like, this beautiful, beautiful dark blue on the inside, this super cool, shiny, just gorgeous cover. And I don't know if you can tell, but purple is a color that I like. And so I am still in a state of shock. This is completely just unbelievable, and an absolutely amazing way for this all to have gone. And as if that weren't enough, they sent just a super sweet note about just everything. And then they also sent these 2 $50 Nintendo Shop gift cards so that I can start replacing some of my games. And so I want to give a huge, huge thank you to my arbitrary Reddit Secret Santa. I cannot even begin to express how much this means to me, and how special this is. Things are things, right? nobody was hurt. Stuff is replaceable, but there's, it's not easy, right? And yeah, it's not easy to replace stuff, and it feels very violating, and like the fact that somebody, and from the place that it was, somebody had clearly just like pulled off on the side of the road, saw the car, broke in, took the stuff and went. Somebody that I'd never met, somebody that I didn't know, just totally rocked my life that day, in a non-positive way. And this is the day that somebody I don't know completely rocked my life in an absolutely amazing, amazing way. And I just thank you so much. This is just, I cannot even begin to explain, like, just all of this, just how much this means to me. And it really puts just a beautiful, beautiful moment on the end of what has been a very difficult and trying past few weeks. So yeah, that is my story. And I just, again, thank you. Thank you.